traders at UBA say the sell-offs in the bond market, particularly in the short-dated papers, have seen investors take advantage of market liquidity. Chuka Nwachukwu, head of ALM and balance sheet management at UBA, joins me now to wrap up the week's activities in the fixed income markets. Chuka, it's a pleasure to have you on the program. So maybe we can start with that point that I just made about how investors are how you see the activities in the bond market. Tell us more.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Like you mentioned, liquidity has been playing a great part. This week we've seen huge liquidity come into the system, especially with the FAC payment and then as well as the coupon payment. And so that has impacted the fixed income market, especially on the T-bill side and of course on the bond side as well. So we've seen mixed reaction on the bond side especially. One hand we see bearish sentiment, especially on the 2025 and 2026 bond. On the other hand, we saw a bit of bullish sentiment on the 2049 and 2053 securities. And so for T-bills, for example, the reason why we've seen a bit of a bearish sentiment is because of the auction that came out on Wednesday. 1 year came out well over 261 basis points from the previous auction result. 1 year came out at 5.94. Sorry, it came out at 12.15 as against 5.94. It came out the previous auction. Okay,
so let's shift our focus for a moment to the forex markets. Earlier this week, of course, we were discussing the dynamics that we're seeing there. And again, I think there's just that argument that until we see a significant injection of forex liquidity, we would continue to see the volatility we're seeing, especially in the parallel market. Do you get a sense that perhaps there are some new measures or initiatives that the central bank may put forward to try and address the liquidity issues in the forex market?
I like to answer issues as regard the current forex situation using the fiscal policy as well as the monetary policy. On the fiscal side, the government has to do quite a lot in terms of introducing some incentives that will encourage inflow of a dollar into the system. On the monetary side, CBN will obviously have to come up with some measures. It could be that they might probably give incentive for people who brings in dollar, in order to be able to, assist, or should I use the word now, in order to alleviate the demand. The demand is huge. And so it's not something that we go out overnight. And I believe that the government is obviously looking at it. The president just announced the first set of ministers. It took the list to the National Assembly. And so that way, once these ministers are confirmed and then portfolios are allocated to each of them, it will give us a clearer idea of what the government policy as regard the effects, the direction would be.
All right, Chuka, let's leave it there. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Chuka Nwachukwu, head of ALM and balance sheet management at UBA.